Hey everyone, Scott Atkinson here from Wolverine Martial Arts. I'm here with Ryan Ferenzi, Michigan's first black belt at Kaizen BJJ. We've been talking a lot about the spread of the coronavirus and how tough it is for us to deal with not being able to train. And so we've been talking about things as far as what we can do in our time off the mats. And one thing that Ryan has helped me with as my instructor for a long time, and I know he's really into, is meditation and visualization. So we've talked a little bit in other videos about how to work out, things we can do, but I really want to talk to Ryan today about your meditation practice, kind of how you got started and what it meant for your training. So how did you get into meditation in the first place?
So my original martial art was Kung Fu, and so as part of every practice, we would meditate every single practice. It wasn't like a long time, it was just like part of the opening and closing ceremonies. So that's kind of how I got into it. We started doing that, then I started reading books about it, just to kind of learn more, and it ended up helping my practice a lot more than I ever expected.
How so?
I think the two things are relaxation and I would say awareness. So, because when you're meditating, you're really just concentrating deeply. You start to get into a state where you're a little more peaceful. And so I almost think of it as like if I had my room was really clean, and then you threw a shirt in the middle of the floor, I'm gonna go, oh, there's a shirt there. Whereas if the room's really dirty and you threw an extra shirt, you probably couldn't tell. If your mind is calm, and all of a sudden, like something happens, like you start to feel a certain emotion. You're like, wait, I was calm a second ago. Now I'm not calm because of this emotion. So you're kind of more aware of yourself. And so you can also be more aware of other people. So as I'm rolling, I might be aware that my breathing is starting to pick up. I may be aware that I'm starting to use a little bit too much strength. I might be aware that the other person's tension level just went up, that they started to grab my arm with a little bit more intensity. So you can start to kind of feel what the other person's doing, just because people are usually telegraphing things. So years ago, I was training with Higa Machado when I was a blue belt in Montreal at Kingston. And I rolled with him, and as we're rolling, I started to think about doing something, and he countered me. And I'm like, that was weird. I hadn't even done it yet. So I started to think about something, then he countered me again. And I was like, okay, that's two. And then it happened again. And I remember after a while, I'm like, what's the point? It's like rolling with Yoda that's like 250 pounds. So I finally just lifted my arm and let him tap me, because I'm like, I thought about something and he did. So I think what was happening, as I was thinking about something, I started to telegraph it in my body, and he could feel it. He's like, oh, here's what's coming. Oh, here's what's coming. And he put me away.
And so that awareness from your meditation transcends to everyday life.
Yeah, transcends to relationships. So if I'm talking to someone and I notice I'm starting to get a little bit angry or a little bit scared or a little bit whatever, you start to go, oh, okay, I just noticed I was calm before and now I'm feeling this emotion. Okay, let's be aware of that. Let's slow it down. And you also kind of have like a base point to start from. Like, this is where I feel comfortable and happy and peaceful. And when you start to get away from that, you're like, I don't feel right. Something just let's bring it back. So it kind of gives me a center point. Which like I said, in Jiu-Jitsu, if I ever start to feel like I'm getting emotional and I can't think clearly because I'm scared or greedy for a technique, I'm like, this doesn't feel right. Okay, let's bring it back. So that's really, really helpful.
Now, Jiu-Jitsu culture is slightly different than Kung Fu culture and other martial arts. So I feel like it might be a tougher sell for some Jiu-Jitsu people to get into meditation, and there's a lot of stigma or misunderstandings about it. So you can kind of take us through like what it actually means to meditate?
So, I mean, it could mean a lot of different things to a lot of different people. So some people meditate for spiritual reasons, some people meditate purely for their health, some people meditate for their martial art practice. There's like, you could kind of break down meditation into like a seated meditation and a moving meditation. Seated is where you're normally sitting like either cross-legged, or you could be sitting in like a seiza position. You basically want to sit in a position where your spine is mostly straight, because if you're not and you're crouching, you can fall asleep easier. It's just not good for your posture. So basically, the seated meditation is one practice, and then moving meditation could be you're driving, and while you're driving, you're not listening to the radio, you're not thinking about other stuff. You're just trying to be aware of the moment. It might be just focusing on your breath, or just be completely enveloped in driving. Just as a practice, I mean, modern life is kind of ADHD. There's always something always going on, and it becomes stressful because your mind just doesn't focus on anything and you're getting pulled so many different directions. So you could think of meditation as like just taking your focus and putting it on one thing. Just for a real basic explanation for what meditation could be for someone, it's just kind of stopping all the noise, stopping all the busyness, and just bring it to a center point and focus on that one thing. So that way, if you're doing jiu-jitsu and you need to focus, you've been practicing focus. If you're doing jiu-jitsu and you need to relax, well, you've been practicing relaxation. You know, it's like lifting a weight. If you've been lifting weights, you keep adding more weight, you get stronger and stronger. Well, if we practice how to relax and we practice awareness, then those states are going to be easier to recall because you practice them so much. Because it's like if I'm telling a student, you need to relax, they could say, well, how do you relax? I don't know. You told me to be stressed. I know how to do that. I practice that all the time. I'm really good. I'm actually a black belt in stress. But could you be a black belt in meditation because you practice that state? You know, almost like Tony Robbins talks about, like anchoring a state where you're like, oh, this is my anchor that brings a certain feeling in my body where I'm like, okay, this is where I need to be. So I think you could think of it as practicing a state of peacefulness. So when I trained Penchak Silat, they actually had us do visualizations to practice a readiness to fight. So it wasn't always practicing calmness and peacefulness, and it was like almost like a pre-adrenal state, like super focused, ready to go. I'm ready to launch. I could die. The guy's got a knife. I got to be ready. So they actually practiced mental states that you would need for combat. And a friend of mine said that when he does his traditional martial art katas, he goes, well, I know I'm not going to stand a karate stance like this, punch like this, and block like this. But when I'm doing the kata, I'm pretending that 5 guys are attacking me. I'm practicing this mental state where I'm aware of my environment and I gotta drop people and let's go. And so when I practice my katas, I'm practicing the mental emotional state of fighting. So if it ever happens, I'm not like, well, I never fight. I have no idea where my mind is supposed to be, my focus. And I'm too stressed, or you've already practiced it, so it's gonna come to you more easily. So, because I think modern life doesn't really talk about mental emotional state and how to control that, and so I think it's actually becoming more important that people practice controlling their mental emotional state, which you can get through meditation.
That's excellent. You touched on something that we live this ADHD lifestyle now, and so I think when I first started talking about meditation, you mentioned something like you hadn't missed a day in a million years or something. I thought, oh, I haven't done it this week. So for someone who might be thinking like, okay, I want to start this, and then a week goes by because we don't have the time. How have you managed to work it into your everyday life?
So when I started doing it more seriously, I was probably 14, 15. And so I would miss a day or two and then I would feel guilty about missing it. And then because I was guilty, I kind of avoided it. And it became this like emotional struggle in myself of like, oh, I didn't do it, guilt. And at a certain point I was like, you know what, I'm not playing that game anymore. Even if it's 4 a.m. and I'm passing out because I'm super tired, I'm going to sit to meditate. At least for a little bit, I'm going to do it because I want to develop that habit, because I just saw the power of habit, like training martial arts. If I trained, when I was doing Kung Fu, I was training 6 days a week. If I missed one day, I was agitated because I was like, I need to train. I made a decision. I want to be good at this. I like this, so let's make it happen. So I knew there's the power of that momentum, because I didn't want my emotions to be involved, or my emotions will say, well, I'm tired and I don't feel like it. This is going on, I don't feel like it. If I start doing things based on my feelings, I'm not going to be successful at anything because I'm just controlled by my emotions. I'm kind of a prisoner. So I said, no matter what, I'm going to meditate. I can be sick, coughing, passing out, and I'm going to get a basic amount in every single day. So that was just a decision I made a long time ago. And now I won't fall asleep at night until I know I've done my minimum amount that I do every day. So sometimes if I had a really busy day, it could be 1 a.m. I'm like, oh, man, I didn't meditate. All right, here we go. There's no question. It's just doing it. So, and you mentioned about in the jiu-jitsu culture that people might not be as open to it. Obviously, there's a ton of people and there's music playing and someone sits down to meditate. It's going to look a little strange and you're going to feel self-conscious. So I think a personal meditation practice is a really good thing to do. So I would say for someone that's a beginner, not to feel any pressure like you got to do 6-hour meditations. You can do basically set a timer. It could be a minute, it could be 2 minutes, it could be 5 minutes. I think a little bit of quality is going to be a lot better than just this quantity of, oh yeah, I did 20 minutes. I think I slept for 15 and I thought about my job, or I thought about money for the other 4, and I maybe did 10 seconds meditation. I'd rather, I think, to get that quality, just to set the watch or set your timer and just over time maybe just try and increase it a little bit and start to get a little bit of the benefits, because I think it's one of those things you might do it and go, I don't feel necessarily peaceful. I don't know if that really helped my awareness and my relaxation level, but you start doing it, it's just like lifting weights. It's going to take a little while, and then after a while, or jiu-jitsu, you're not going to get it in one practice, but after a few months, you say, actually, now I know how to do an arm bar. I learned a basic guard pass, and I have improved. So I think, as far as a basic practice, I think if someone wants to, you can sit cross-legged is fine, especially if it doesn't bother your knees, you're not doing it for a long time, crossing the legs. You don't want to hunch your spine, so we want to try and get the chest out. Chin is usually level. As far as your hands, putting your hands on your thighs, palm down, you have a lot of nerves here, and it's going to kind of keep you in contact with your body. We're not trying to focus so much on the body, we're just trying to focus on getting those states that are going to be more relaxed. So you can put your palms up. Some people will put their hands at the junction of the inner thighs and abdomen, just because it brings the chest out and the back is more straight. You know, sometimes people do this and they start hunching. We hunch all the time, so if you can kind of bring your chest out. From there, you can start the practice with just doing a few deep breaths. Like you can do like a 20-20-20. So you breathe in for 20, hold for 20, exhale for 20, or it could be 15-15-15. Some people like to start with just breathing in, tensing, and then exhaling, letting all the tension go, doing that 3 times. So those are some real basic things you do just to kind of get the tension out of your body, kind of clear your head a little bit, and it can make it like part of a ritual. This is what we do first to kind of open up the meditation. And then from there, real basic thing, when you're meditating, usually you're going to close your eyes. You don't want to look down. In yoga, they say if you look down, you go into the subconscious state. You tend to go to sleep more easily. So you can look forward, but looking up a little bit, almost like you're looking just kind of slightly up. And then from there, you want to try and breathe through your lower stomach, which has been I should have mentioned earlier, that's been a really, really helpful skill in Jiu-Jitsu. Normally people are trying to breathe with their upper chest. When you're a child, you breathe with your lower stomach. But if you breathe with your upper chest, which most adults do, you're only utilizing a small amount of your lungs. Something that happens when you breathe with your lower stomach, diaphragmatic breathing, you're utilizing all your lungs, and there's a relaxation response, especially when you're breathing out through your nose. It'll help you relax more, so you can take in more oxygen, you can be more relaxed. It's kind of interesting how it works. If you were just breathing from here as opposed to breathing with the lower stomach, it actually makes a big difference. So basically, once you get the basic posture and we're breathing with the lower stomach, there's a lot of different meditation techniques. Some people will just listen to the sound of their breath, and they'll just listen to the sound as they're breathing in, breathing out. Some people will just watch their breath, almost like you were watching someone else's body. You're just seeing the breath going in, going out. Any thoughts that come in, we're not trying to like jump into that train of thought, because one thing leads to another, and after a while you're thinking about monkeys or whatever, food, or and that happens to everyone that meditate. You just end up going down these mental tangents. But basically, anything comes in, just let it go, because you made the decision for this 5 minutes or 3 minutes or whatever. We're just focusing on the breath and trying to feel this state of peace, relaxation, which will start to come if you get your brain to calm down, which is sometimes impossible. Other days I'm like, man, I think I did something today. It really, I got the brain to stop chattering, and it can make a big difference.
Excellent. And so, well, thank you so much. I hope that's helpful for a lot of people. We can't be on the mats, but maybe I'm overly optimistic, but I also feel like this can also be an opportunity for us to lead the martial arts lifestyle, not just on the mats, but learn how to take it home and how to come back a little stronger.
Absolutely. I think it's a great idea.
Excellent. Thank you.
All right. My pleasure.
Cool. I was going to ask about